call it, links are already available.
Minister of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo. Congratulations, you were sworn in today, I think. Well, as I said, I am super excited and really proud of all of Google's progress over many, many years. I have followed Google with great interest as the president and CEO of eBay, the president and CEO of Hewlett-Packard. I have watched Google's progress from its founding in Silicon Valley to the powerhouse that it is worldwide. And I have also followed the progress in Kenya, and I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. As an early denizen of Silicon Valley, I have been privileged to see the power of technology to transform lives. And you've heard a couple of stories today about how that happens. I've seen the power of technology to transform economies and make a positive difference worldwide. Now, I always get asked the question, how did you end up as the American ambassador to Kenya? And I'm going to tell you a little story because it underscores the importance of technology, the importance of Kenya, and the importance of Google. So I was minding my own business in Silicon Valley, and I got a call from the President of the United States who said, Meg, we'd like you to be an ambassador. Would you consider that? And I said, well, maybe. And he said, we want you to go to Kenya. And I said, well, say more about that. And he said the following. He said, Meg, Africa is going to be the future of the world. He said, did you know that 1 in 4 people on Earth in 2050 will live on the African continent? And as Charles said, 1 out of every 3 working age people in 2050 will be on the African continent. And he said, Meg, Kenya is one of the most important countries in Africa, if not the most important country in Africa. And that's why I want you to go to Kenya. He said, I think there's something else that you should know. Kenya is the tech leader of East Africa and could be the tech leader of all the continent of Africa. And he said, I think your tech background would be a perfect match. And then he said, I want you to see what the US government can do to help build Silicon Savannah in Kenya. And at that point, he had me at hello. And then he said, and did you know that Google has been in Kenya for 15 years? That should give you all the confidence that you need. So I am super excited about the potential of Silicon Savannah here. In my long time in Silicon Valley, there's 4 things that a country needs to develop this tech ecosystem, and Kenya has all the ingredients. First is infrastructure. Many people have talked about connectivity today. The second is great universities that can churn out lots and lots of young people who have science, technology, engineering, and math backgrounds who can come to work at places like Google. The third thing is venture capital. And I don't know if you know this, but Kenya is leading the continent in venture capital as a percentage of GDP. Nigeria has more absolute dollars of venture capital, but Kenya as a percentage of GDP beats Nigeria all day long and is growing faster. And then the last and really important ingredient of a Silicon Savannah is great, large tech companies that can train people, bring them on board, and then seed them to other smaller companies, or maybe the Kenyan government. And so I think Kenya has all 4 of those ingredients, and the future here is incredibly bright. And Google is an anchor of achieving that dream. And so I want you to get up every day recognizing that what you do here is really important for Google and your customers, but it's actually even more important potentially for Kenya. So you have the potential to change lives, and here's what I love. You have the potential to help people be successful doing what they love. Whether that's a beauty consultant or a small farmer, every business is a tech business now, and you have that potential to have people do what they love what they do and be successful doing it using technology. And you have one more very important ingredient, and that is the government of Kenya. And I have come to know the president a bit in the last month or so, and we are very lucky. You are very lucky. You've got an ambitious, a hardworking, a committed president who wants the very best for Kenya and is a can-do executive. He reminds me of the private sector. Let's get it done and get it done now. So I'm thrilled to be here. The U.S. Embassy will do everything we can to help the tech sector in Kenya be successful, and let's go build Silicon Savannah in Kenya. Thank you.
Let's give more hearty a clap to Her Excellency. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Allow me, sir.